Guys, so today we'll be discussing about traveling to Leh Ladakh in the month of April 2025, what you should be expecting in terms of weather, road condition that you can visit in Leh Ladakh in April, along with the clothing that you need to be carrying. Are the roads open? The routing that you need to be taking for Leh Ladakh in the month of April, and most of all, is it worth going to Leh Ladakh in the month of April? Now, keep in mind that April is springtime, it's the end of winter and the start of spring in Leh Ladakh. So, you need to remember one important thing is that when I'm saying it's spring, it's still going to be very cold. So, the daytime temperature is going to range from anywhere between 5 degrees to 15 degrees, while the night temperature will be anywhere between 0 to minus 10, depending entirely on where you are. So even if you're traveling in the month of April, throughout the month of April, you need to be carrying a good amount of woolen wear. And remember one thing, that Leh Ladakh is a cold desert and it can snow any time of the year throughout the year. So it's not like April is a summer month or May is a summer month. It's all the same. If it snows, it can snow anytime. So be prepared for all kinds of weather in the month of April other than monsoon, I would say. Carrying your woolen wear is very important. Carrying a good pair of shoes along with you is mandatory. Having a UV protected sun glares is a lifesaver and it's an absolute must. Now keep in mind that accessibility via the roads via Manali to Leh is not going to open in April. In the past, you might hear people saying that it has opened as early as March and April. But keep in mind, when the road opens in March and April, it's not really fit for tourists to travel because it can open today and shut tomorrow. And then if you have planned your trip in April via Manali to Leh, there is a very high possibility that you'll end up getting stuck midway at either Baralacha or at Sarchu, and then you might have to return back, and this will jeopardize your entire trip. It'll make it a nightmare and you'll not end up forget about reaching Leh. You'll not end up enjoying anything. You'll just have to go back home because your entire leave will get wasted sitting in a vehicle waiting for the road to open, which will open maybe a couple of months later for tourists to travel comfortably. The reason being, it's in the month of April that it's still snowing along the passes in Manali Leh. So by default, the road, even if they're opening it, it's going to snow overnight and the road is going to get shut, and that's going to jeopardize the entire journey. Very few drivers from Leh or Himachal are going to risk their vehicles taking them in this terrain over the snow and to have them battered, because when your vehicle is destroyed, you're not going to have any money to make for the vehicle driver. So keep in mind, the best way to travel is by air directly to Leh. The Srinagar Leh road usually opens by mid-March. Road is usually a much safer route to be taking in the month of April because there's only one pass, that's Jozila Pass. Along with this, it's also a fact that the road is much smoother and it's a shorter distance compared to what the Manali Leh road is. But again, you cannot really predict in the month of April whether the road is going to be completely open or it can shut during heavy snowfall if it does snow in April. Like last year in the year 2024, there were cases where it started snowing late, that is in the month of April and May it snowed, and both the roads were shut for a very long period of time because unexpectedly the roads opened. It was very good for 2 weeks and then it started snowing in the second week of April and the roads shut. So my personal recommendation for someone who's planning a trip in April is fly in and out of Leh. The air tickets are much more affordable as compared to the month of May and June because it's still pre-season and it's not really holiday season where families will be coming to visit because school holidays haven't really kicked in. Now when it comes to the highlights of the places that you should be visiting, Leh town is a must visit. Shanti Stupa, Tesmo, Leh Palace. Then along with that, I would personally recommend going to Hall of Fame. A place that is definitely worth visiting is Shanti Stupa because you'll get a panoramic view of the entire town of Leh. The confluence between Indus and Zanskar is at its absolute best in the month of April. So without doubt, make sure that you're visiting the confluence. Now when it comes to the monasteries, there are 3-4 monasteries that you should be visiting in Ladakh region. One is Hemis, one is Tikse, one is Alchi, and the other one is Diskit. Now remember that Hemis, Tikse and Alchi all fall in Leh, within the Leh proximity, while Diskit monastery is in Nubra Valley and it's a place that you will be visiting by default when you're going to Nubra Valley. Alchi is a little bit away from the tourist circuit. It's along the road to Kargil, but if you can and you can spare time and spend the extra money, do go to Alchi. You'll have a wonderful experience. Now, when it comes to the places that you should be visiting, I would say Pangong Taso is an absolute must. Keep in mind, the Changla Pass will be frozen. Pangong Lake will also be partially frozen, but it is an unreal experience to be going there. If you're planning on going to Pangong in April, make sure that you're staying at Tangse and not at Pangong Lake, because it can get extremely uncomfortable in the night to stay in a tent or in a wooden house over there, which is a makeshift setup. It gets very cold and windy, and you do not want to risk your life or the life of your fellow travelers. Nubra Valley is easily accessible because it's a civilization. Kardungla Pass will experience snowfall. You might have to put, the vehicle driver might have to put chains and drive. And it's a very good adventure experience. You can go all the way up to Turtuk without any worry. Just remember that staying in Hundar is a far better option in the month of April compared to going and trying to stay in Turtuk, because of any kind of snowfall, there are rocks falling between Turtuk to Hundar. You'll be stranded in Turtuk, and that would be the end of your return journey till the road is stabilized, and that happens very often in the month of April. Now, when it comes to the other high altitude lake, which is Somoriri, that's kind of a dicey equation because you got to pass Tanglangla and go all the way through Moreh Plains. And since it's the month of April, that's a hit and a miss, because even accommodation over there starts pretty much towards the end of April or in the first week of May, I would say. So after the 10th of May is a good time to go to Somoriri, but in April it's not a good option. Now, when it comes to other adventure activities, that is the ATVs and rafting, it's pretty much accessible in the month of April, but the water is going to be extremely cold if you're going to go rafting in the Zanskar for April. Even though the snow has melted, it's the melted snow which is going through the river, and that's going to give you a bone chilling cold. Even though they're going to give you a wetsuit, it's just still going to be extremely cold. The cafes are open throughout. In April, they're open all over. The nightlife is not there really in Leh, but you'll have a very good vibe. The best option in April is to find places like homestays, because they will have the best and unadulterated option of staying and the experience. Heaters are not really needed in the month of April because you'll get plenty of blankets, and getting a heater is of no use because places like Hundar and Tangse and other remote parts beyond Leh, there's always a power cut after 11 o'clock in the night, so that's pretty much a useless thing to have. Now, when it comes to network, keep in mind that in Leh and the rest of Ladakh region, only postpaid network works. BSNL, Airtel and Jio are the best. I would personally recommend either Airtel or Jio. Vodafone is pretty much useless. Even though you have postpaid, you do not get network. Even if you get in Leh town, it's pretty scratchy. Now, keep in mind, if you are a prepaid user, your GPay or your phone pay will not work over there, so you need to be carrying good enough amount of cash. Even through Wi-Fi, it will not work since your SIM is not active. So carry enough cash from home. There are ATMs in Leh. Now, when it comes to the permits, these permits for Leh and Ladakh can be done online. You can easily get it done from their website. Accommodation is something that you need to be booking in advance, so that you do not have to go there and waste your time running from one place to another place to get an ideal accommodation. The key things to remember for the month of April is that April is off season, so the crowd is very less, so you'll get a peaceful experience of Leh Ladakh. You will not be stuck in traffic jams. You'll find plenty of snow and even snowfall at passes. So if you're someone who's looking to experience snow and snowfall, April is the month to be going there. It's always advisable to carry enough of woolen wear with you so that you do not end up falling sick, and also get a health checkup before you go there, so that if you are above the age of 30, get a health checkup if you are someone who lives a lethargic life. Now, if you're someone who's planning a trip to Leh Ladakh, we have plenty of trips to Leh Ladakh in the month of April. You can click on the link in the description. There are 3 or 4 trips listed. You can go through them, and then you can ping us on WhatsApp, which is directly from our website. There's a WhatsApp option. You can directly reach us if you are interested. We have different plans depending on how you're enrolling. There's a different costing for solo travelers, for couples, for small groups and large groups. We also arrange private trips depending on the number of people. These trips are experience-based trips, which include homestays and only homestays. All our contacts in Leh Ladakh have been with us for the last 10 or more years. So keep in mind, if you're looking for an experience-rich trip, then do look at the trips we have. If you have any queries related to Leh Ladakh in the month of April, leave a comment in the comment section. We'd be more than happy to help. And last and finally, biking in Leh Ladakh in April is only meant for the town of Leh. Do not even consider taking your bike beyond the town of Leh to Nubra Valley or Pangong Taso, you will end up getting stuck with your bike and make your life miserable.